All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and James Gunn's talking about DCU is ruled by three groups. What are those three groups? Zeb is actually coming to The Mandalorian and Grogu. John Turturro talked about why he declined to come back for The Penguin. Alien Earth, crushing it. And, a few other things that we're going to talk about on today's show with myself and Kris Carr. The question is, can Kris Carr repeat 2 weeks in a row after a career performance last week? We shall see. So, myself and Kris Carr here on the show today. It's the Kristian Harloff Show, everybody. Let's get into it. It's Wednesday. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the show, Kristian Harloff Show. It is me, Kristian Harloff, joined on Wednesday by the one and the only Kris Carr. Hello, Kris. How are you?
I'm doing well. If my voice is a little scratchy today, it's because I was singing my face off at the K-pop Demon Hunters sing-along last night.
How was that? Was it fun?
It was so fun. It was so cute because there were all these little kids who were not only singing along, but quoting with the movie. So every time they'd do the Hi Bobby, all the little kids in the audience would say it, and Ken Jeong was there. So he was loving it. It was great. It was really cool.
So I just wasn't able. I got invited to one last night. I just wasn't able to do it. I have so much going on in the channel right now, as I told you, and I told somebody this morning. We released a reaction with myself and Luke, who from Galaxy Geeks, who's been helping me, and someone had recommended this Star Wars channel that essentially took the Timothy Zahn novels of The Heir to the Empire and made them into like these little animated shorts, and we reacted to the first three and said, okay, let's see, because he's in Tennessee, I'm here, so let's get this virtual thing going and see how it worked. And it worked really well, so we confirmed we are able to do that now. So Kris Carr will be reacting to movies with us now. Winston and Steph haven't seen a damn thing.
That's awesome.
I couldn't believe some of the stuff Winston. I said last night, one of my favorite sports movies of all time is Major League. And I said, surely you've seen Major League. And he goes, no. I was like, yeah, great.
He's so lucky, though, because experiencing that the first time is going to be so good.
He never saw Saving Private Ryan. He's never seen, I'm telling you, the amount of stuff that he told me he didn't see. It's going to be incredible to watch him. So I told him I got to put him in touch with you because he's another one, needs better lighting.
He reached out to me yesterday.
Oh, amazing. Good.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be doing a lot. Steph's going to be doing a lot. The goal is to do at least one a day on the channel. I want to have like one a day. So we have like, whether it's in the morning or in the afternoon after the live show, we have one with somebody different from the crew. We got you. I got three people from New York now. I have you. I have Steph. I got Winston. And I have Tina, Sam, and my buddy Ming the Merciless is coming in to do one as well. So we're going to have. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the future holds here. So that and a lot more. And you know what we just did today with Tina. Speaking of Tina, I was shocked that you haven't heard of this. So Luke first told me about this, and then my daughter now is watching it, and she's like, "Dad, you need to react to the Amazing Digital Circus," is what she told me. And I was like, "What in the hell is that?" I said, "Oh, that's the same thing Luke told me about." I said, "What is that?" And she's like, "I'm telling you." She's like, "I think you'll like it." And I'm like, "All right." So I looked. I couldn't believe how many people. This is like 65 million people watched the pilot episode on YouTube, and apparently it's on Netflix also. So we watched the first 3 episodes, and I said, "Look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch these first 3 episodes, and very similar to what I did with One Piece. If the audience wants to see us do this and they're enjoying it, then we'll keep doing it. If they don't care, then we're not going to do it." Similar to what happened when I was watching Squid Game so many years later. The audience didn't care, so I said, "All right, you know what? I'll just watch it on my own time." Still haven't done that, but eventually I will. But I think you'll really like the Amazing Digital Circus. It's very much, I think, up your alley.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's animated and it's really interesting. So, anyway, that's some of the stuff we got going on in the channel, and I have some news stories to discuss. And here is the first news story, everybody. James Gunn says that the DCU is ruled by 3 groups, which are the Metahumans, the government, and giant firms like Wayne Enterprise. Okay. There is the Wayne Enterprise thing right there. And Mark Julian writes, James Gunn was recently interviewed by his superstar, Rainn Wilson, in the aptly named Interview magazine, and DC Studios co-chair touched on a number of interesting topics, including what makes the DCU different from other cinematic universes. In talking about what separates the DCU from the MCU, James Gunn stated, it's a different map. It's a world in which some form of superheroes, which we call metahumans, have existed for at least 300 years, and they've been part of our life. He adds, but I think we're reaching a point in the DCU where there's three factions. There's the metahumans, the government, and the corporations, and the corporations are equally as important. There's Luthor Corp, there's Lord Tech, and there's Stag Industries and Wayne Enterprises, which are the four big companies that are vying for another type of domination. Gunn went on to explain, and they aren't evil corporations, really. They're just freaking amoral corporations. And then he shows Luthor Corp and Wayne Enterprises. Even Luthor Corp isn't evil, despite the fact that Lex Luthor is its figurehead. The corporations in themselves aren't evil. Corporations are immoral. Lex Luthor is a pretty bad guy, although his corporation has done some great things. Luthor has created a battery which has made the running of the world a much more efficient process. He has cars that run more efficiently, that are better for clean air. He's done some really great things for the world, which is the reason for his obsession with Superman. He was considered the greatest guy in the world a few years ago, even though there were metahumans. And then this guy with dimples and a glint in his eye and a silly costume came in and made him feel like shit. So he's been sort of obsessed with him ever since, and he's gone evil. So there's okay, so there's going to give a breakdown there. So Kris, you hear this breakdown of what James Gunn says. Does all this make sense, or is it just like too much explaining?
No, this totally makes sense to me, especially if we are doing it's its own world, right? DC has always been it's our world, but a little different, right? With Metropolis and Gotham and everything. But it makes sense to tell stories like this so that we can relate to them and find correlations between them. Because then you have, the gods versus monsters idea that he's always been talking about with our heroes. But then we also have the government involved with things that can tie into different groups being bankrolled by Luthor or by Maxwell Lord, which kind of brings in the authority, which is something James Gunn has expressed interest in, but also talked about how challenging it is to use them.
Sure.
And then also just the government factions too. You bring in Ric Flair, you bring in, Amanda Waller. You have a lot of stuff that you could do.
By the way, you said Ric Flair, and that's
amazing. Ric Flair. Oh shit, Ric Flair. that was a very Freudian moment for me.
I would love to see Ric Flair in the DCU.
I got to watch that really amazing the triple threat Mexican wrestling that WWE did this past weekend, and I think that's just all still on my mind. It was so killer.
Amazing. Woo! All right. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, I think that it's a smart way to make these movies still have those moments of boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And have this kind of civilian humanistic story, which we did really well in Superman and talking about humanity. And by having it be these three groups, which, mostly that's usually what we're dealing with in superhero stories anyway. I think that makes a lot of sense. It does make me wonder if we are going to consider magic wielders metahumans, or if that's a separate entity, because that's where we get kind of nebulous in DC. Is, okay, well, is Zatanna a magician or a metahuman? I would say she's a magician. She's a sorceress. Etrigan, he's a demon, not a metahuman. So I'm wondering if we're going to just wait to then introduce some of the stuff that I find the most interesting, the magic, John Constantine kind of things later on down the road.
That's probably right. You got to say, so I think he's mentioning Wayne and everything to give you kind of the easy setup here. Yeah. Wayne Enterprises, that's part of it. And I like the explanation of Luthor, and the fact it's like, his corporation's actually done a lot of good for people. It's not just like his world domination type of thing. His obsession is Superman. You see that as much in the movie, right? And the fact that he was looked upon as a good guy explains more on that Max Lord comment at the very end, where he's like, see, we can all agree now on both sides that this guy's a douche, because there's probably some big argument beforehand that he was great for the world, and now it's like, no, look, he sucks, and Superman just proved it. So I like that. Maybe I would like to have seen that a little bit more inside of the movie. Maybe there wasn't time for it, but I like the explanation of it and how they're going to make that work. Clearly Lex is going to have a bigger role in this overall, but no, I dug the way that he's shaping this, but I do think you got to focus on these, and as you said, you wait for the Constantines and all that stuff down the road once you've established the world. So that being said, I got to ask you guys, what do you think overall about what James Gunn is saying? You think this makes sense, the way that he's kind of broken it up into the metahumans and other things as far as the government side of it goes? And as Chris mentioned with Rick Flag, and I wish it was Rick Flair, but Rick Flag and the rest of them on there, make sure that you put your thoughts there on the Clips channel, put it on the live chat afterwards, all that and more. Sticking with James Gunn, because there's a little bit more that has got some details now about his Superman follow-up, and he's going to actually reveal which DCU project shoots next. So let's see. Moving on for more James Gunn stuff. James Gunn has talked more about his Superman sequel that's not a sequel, and reveals that both it and a mystery TV series will begin shooting next for a possible 2027 release. Josh Wilding writes, Superman received positive reviews and will soar beyond $600 million at the worldwide box office later this week. However, DC Studios co-CEO and filmmaker James Gunn isn't making Superman 2 next, and he continues to play coy about his second big screen DCU project. Warner Bros. Discovery has confirmed that it's a movie in the super family, with the prevailing theory that we're getting a Superman/Supergirl team up. If so, Gunn must be confident in the odds of next summer's Supergirl being a crowd-pleasing hit. During a new interview with Chris Hardwick, Gunn said, I can say that probably the next movie we're going to be making is this follow-up to Superman, which I don't want to get in too much detail on, but that's what probably the next film we're making is, I think. Well, hopefully we're making the Batman Part 2 before that, and then I think it's the Superman follow-up, he continued, but confirming a 2027 release for the movie. And then we have another TV show, which nobody knows about, which is going next. The series he mentions is a bit of a mystery to us, as Booster Gold, Waller, Paradise Lost don't appear anywhere close to starting production. Has another mystery project been added to the DCU slate that wasn't announced at the start of 2023? Seems likely. Back to his Superman follow-up. Gunn previously said it's within the group of characters we've already met, and Superman's an important element of it. So that's what I'll say. But like that movie, that treatment is done. Not outside the realm of possibility, the filmmaker surprises us with a Justice League International movie, though that would be an extremely ballsy move on his part. He dismissed the idea of a world's finest feature, which would team Superman up with Batman. No great surprise if the Super Family title is headed our way in the same year as the Batman Part 2. Brave and the Bold and Wonder Woman remain somewhere on the horizon. However, with Supergirl facing stiff competition at the box office next summer and Clayface is a more obscure horror project, DC Studios could be relying on the Superman follow-up to be its next big hit. Superman's legs at the U.S. box office have been impressive, but it's struggled to resonate with moviegoers overseas. What's that mean for Supergirl and other Super Family movie remains to be seen. Okay. This, again, very interesting overall, Kris Carr. So I think that you get the confirmation once again that it's going to be this kind of Super Family thing, or he's involved and it's going to be one of those movies. It's similar. People might not love this, but it's similar to what they did with the DCU. Like, it's not a Superman sequel. It's Superman v Batman. Now, I don't think they're going to do that again, but it's not a Superman sequel per se. It is a follow-up with him and somebody else. Let's start with this. What do you think it ultimately is? And is it risky that it's coming out in 2 years?
I feel like with all they're working on right now, it won't feel like we've waited that long for this movie, is my hope.
That's not too long. That's not too long.
It's not too long. No. And I'm hoping that because James Gunn also writes very quickly, that this was something that, because he was like, oh, I'm already working on the treatment. I mean, the Guardian special, I know that was a very small project comparatively, but still, he wrote that in like, what, a day is what he said or something? Oh. He moves quickly and he moves well. So I'm hoping that this kind of successor is something focused on, you know, the Justice Gang becoming more of the Justice League that we know, maybe doing that shift. Mr. Terrific was incredibly well received, so maybe we're going to do a little focus on him, which could be very cool as well. So we've got a lot of options of where we go with this so that we're continuing the story we've started here. And I think ultimately, what I want at least, is let's continue exploring how this world operates and receives superheroes and super peoples, especially because we got so little Hawk Girl in this movie. And there's two different versions of Hawk Girl. There's the past lives regenerated or reincarnated Hawk Girl, or there's the Thanagarian hot girl who's an actual alien. And if Superman being an alien is a huge problem, I'm wondering if other heroes maybe haven't disclosed that they're not from around these parts. I think that could be something really interesting to talk about. But I'm wondering if we're going to just continue building on that ensemble as opposed to doing more little one-offs. Or the Superman Supergirl team up would just be delightful because they're both on Earth at the same time. We've already seen them interact a tiny bit. And after she has her own movie, it would make sense for us to see them doing some stuff together.
It would, but as they mentioned in the article, he's got to have some serious confidence in Supergirl. And I know that he already, how much that comic book is just revered by people. I know people love that World of Tomorrow comic book. I mean, or Woman of Tomorrow comic book. People keep talking about it all the time. Every single time I say that. Yeah, it's okay. So you're another one that talks about how great it is. And I just did the reaction with Sam, and I pretty much even referenced that. I said, look, because she didn't love, she's still kind of on the fence about the Supergirl thing. And she's like, it was funny, but some of it, I don't know yet. And I said, well, I'll tell you the same thing that these people told me because I had the same reaction. I said, apparently you got to really know this run because people just love it. If it hits the casual audience, if they adapt it in the way that it hit you guys, then it looks like they could have a hit, and then they could bring her aboard to team up with him after having a successful movie. But as far as not releasing this thing, because if you look, you're going to release the Batman 2 in 2027. Then you've got whatever this movie is around the same time. Then you stay clear of Brave and the Bold, but I think you've got to release Brave and the Bold the following year. I mean, I think you have to. Right?
I would think so. Well, yeah, because we still also are operating under the assumption that Robert Pattinson isn't our Batman. He's an Elseworlds Batman. But that's and we have to figure out a way that I say we, like I'm going to sit down and be like, James, let's solve this together. But we do have to rectify that Gotham is so removed from the world of Superman. And not in a way that is different cities have a different vibe. It's so jarringly different. They live in different worlds. So that has to be something that you rectify. And that Brave and Bold movie, I think, is that kind of tether, especially if we're moving forward with Pattinson of how do we get this guy to hang out with all of our other super friends.
You still think Pattinson's going to be part of it?
I think they'll probably remove him after this. I think we'll be done with this Batman.
Right.
But I've heard a lot of other people saying, oh no, we should just move forward with him since he's so good.
Tons of people say that.
He's great, but this version of him, the Matt Reeves version of Batman, doesn't make sense for the DC universe that is being established, at least in my opinion.
No, I agree.
Because it is so dark and gritty.
It feels like more like a David Fincher. It almost fits more in the Nolan world than it does.
Yeah, it's Seven with Batman.
100%. It doesn't work. Not in this world, but it's not to say that you couldn't put Pattinson in it as Batman and
you just have to switch up the vibes of all of it.
Switch up the vibes a little bit, but almost in the way, and people aren't going to like this reference because I didn't like the way they switched up either. But look at the vibe in the difference of when they took Kingpin, they put him in Hawkeye. Significantly different than when he was in the Netflix series, but yet it was still Kingpin because it was Vincent D'Onofrio. And he was still doing, you're like, oh, a little more cartoony, but it fit that Hawkeye world. It didn't feel the same though. So maybe it doesn't work.
Daredevil going into She-Hulk.
Right.
Exactly. Where it was, oh yeah, this is still Matt. This is still the guy who I know, but we're doing a very different kind of thing here.
Yeah. So I think they keep it Elseworlds and then you just get another Batman, and they'll probably do that maybe within a year time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people won't be confused with it and they'll say, okay, let's just move.
Do you think they'll just be done with the Elseworlds idea after this so you don't have dueling bats?
No. I think that especially because you'd be an idiot if you put the Batman 2 and it winds up so let me really backtrack a little bit. If the movie doesn't perform, then maybe. But if the movie is as big of a hit as the first one, you'd be an idiot not to finish up the trilogy. Like, why make the second one if you want it to be successful just to give to throw Matt Reeves a bone? That doesn't make any sense. So, you make this movie, and now I think less Elseworld stuff will happen. Again, if Joker 2 would have been the massive hit that they thought it could have been. Now, would they have done a Joker 3? Probably not, but they would have. But who knows if they would have continued to play in different worlds? It just gives them the option if they want to.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing about it.
Well, I always feel comic book fans are so always down for that, right? We're just so used to it of, oh, well, it's a different writer or it's a different universe or whatever. And I always am trying to talk to people who aren't as inside this bubble of, does the Elseworld idea make sense to you? Is it confusing to you to have multiple Batman? And for the most part, most of the people I've talked to do no, I really like the idea of having this guy exist, but then also having Batman come hang out over here.
Sure.
So I feel like it's something you can do. You just have to treat your audience with the intelligence they deserve.
Here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's say Batman 2 releases and worldwide makes $710 million, where Superman is just going to cross 600.
Yeah.
What does James Gunn and DCU do in that moment?
Ooh. Well, and that is very possible too, because Batman does perform well overseas. People love this character.
Another scenario. Let's say that then Brave and the Bold comes out a year later and does 600 million, and Matt Reeves does 710. What do you do?
I mean, do you start putting all your eggs in the Batman basket?
Probably not. You probably have to. You have to eat it. You have to just take it on the chin, but it's
and figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, and that's always been an interesting thing from a comic perspective too. Of we've had this shift in different times where people relate to Superman more than they relate to Batman. And for a long time in comics, people didn't relate to Batman because it was this rich, privileged, traumatic character.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Superman had either the power fantasy of, I wish I could, right all the wrongs in the world. I wish I could do good and be the powerful person who could do this. I do feel isolated or ostracized or other, and walking through life in that way. And then we've seen this kind of shift in that of people really enjoying the vigilantism of Batman or the cunning of Batman or being the peak of humanity and doing what you need to get justice. So it'll be interesting to see how people continue to react to these two characters on the big screen with these versions of them.
Batman has traditionally done better than Superman, especially internationally, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be too much of a shock if the Batman makes more than Superman, but it is going to be a bit of a shock if a year later the DCU's Batman does significantly less. And that could be part of the fatigue side of it. That could be part of maybe the tone. I'd rather see this kind of tone instead, or they both could do very well.
I'm hoping it's that. I'm hoping it's you get a couple different flavors. Going to see a DC film gets to be like you buying whatever Ben and Jerry's you want.
Yeah.
One day you're in the mood for Cherry Garcia, and one day you're in for some fish food. You know what I mean? Go get whatever you want.
And then the other side of this interview, though, I thought was interesting was this like mystery TV show, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
I hope it's something again related to this. And so some people saying Creature Commandos, like Creature Commandos is a fun. Let's make it a one-off. Season 1 it was fun. We're good. We're good.
I'd love to see some more stuff with some of whoever's still alive without spoiling it for other people.
Yeah.
But I liked it as its own entity and existing like as it is. I was not expecting it to be so good or so emotional.
Great. So but it is what it is. And let's get everybody on board too, because as we know, they're like and that's clearly that show is made for adults. Creature Commandos. And but animation does not throw a wide enough net if you're trying to get everybody connected to the DCU. And I think to start with an animated show, great, because it's a little tidbits. If you get rewarded from it, great. But if you're continuing on the lore now, you're going to lose people if you just do animated.
Exactly. And not to always make everything a comparison to Star Wars, but we've seen this in Star Wars too, where certain things just do work better animated. Right. And then when we try to make them live action, it's this kind of falls flat. And I wish we stayed in this medium and in this world. 100%. And I feel like that's where Creature Commandos really thrives, because you can do all this really jarring, violent stuff, kind of like Invincible, where it's a little bit more palpable because it is animated, that you can go, this can go as off the rails as you want it to.
Absolutely. And there's certain things you can do sometimes that, when you have someone's eyes popping out of their head in animation, but, oh, that's crazy. But when you do it depending on how you shoot it in live action, it looks cartoony. And as you said,
it looks bad, or I vomit.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned like the Star Wars thing. What I always bring up is if you take and I bring this reference up 1,000 times. You saw Ahsoka the season, so those zombie stormtroopers, whatever the ones that come up, if you did that in animated, it would look creepy. It would work. It looked so stupid, and it was so ridiculous in that live action thing. It doesn't always transfer over. But anyway, what do you guys make of all the stuff James Gunn said? You liking it? You digging it? What do you think is going to happen next? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. All right. Before we move on, every morning when I wake up, rush to make myself some of that trade coffee. I love it. I'm going to tell you about trade coffee. I'm going to tell you about Nutrafol. And I'll be right back. I don't know if I could rave about trade any more than I do, but man, let me try because I love it. Summer's over now. Oh, it's getting to be over. And so I'm just locked into this morning routine, and I love trade coffee. I really do look forward to wake up in the morning and go, whoa, trade coffee, here we go. They recommend beans that I love. They know me well enough now, and they ensure that they're roasted to order. They ship them fresh to my door. I've gotten so many great coffees. I would have definitely never found these at the grocery store. There's no way. And every cup is really perfect. I just love it. It's so damn satisfying. Trade Coffee is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S. for both hot and cold coffee drinkers. They've sourced the best beans from over 50 top roasters across the U.S. They even have easy-to-use curated gear so you can brew at home with better flavor and value than any cafe or bottled cold brew. I'm telling you, it's like my morning routine. I have Trade. I don't, if you know my show, you know how much I love Trade. It's just the best. The bags that they send are great. I have I'm able to I grind the beans. I love them, and I've never gone back. Right now, Trade is offering 50% off a 1-month trial, but you got to go to drinktrade.com/Christian. That's drinktrade.com/Christian. Get 50% off 1 month. Drinktrade.com/Christian. Go there. Tell them that we sent you. Love Trade Coffee. I love Trade Coffee. Oh, man, I'm so happy Nutrafol is back. I love Nutrafol. I've been using Nutrafol, it's got to be 2.5 years now. It is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand. It's trusted by over 1.5 million people. You can feel great about what you're putting in your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF Content certified, the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements. So a lot of supplements, they rely solely on ingredient studies. Nutrafol clinically tests final formulations to ensure that their efficiency uses a variety of hair measurement tools like hair counts and pull tests to access growth, quality, shedding, and texture. I remember when we got them years ago. Brett and I were like, all right, let's see. I'm getting older. Let's see if they can help us out. And boy, did they. It's been working amazing. You guys have been commenting on my picture that I posted last week on Instagram. You see what's going on. You got to see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping. You got to go to Nutrafol.com. You got to enter that promo code Christian. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com. Nutrafol.com. But you got to use that promo code Christian. That is Nutrafol.com, promo code Christian. You will not be disappointed. Tell them we sent you. Thank you to Nutrafol. Thank you to Trade Coffee. So excited to have them both. And I tell you guys all the time, and I think you've been watching this show long enough. You're like, you know what? I listen to this show all the time. I get so many nice messages about how it helps you guys out. And I said, look, they say, how can I support the show? People say. I said, you want to support the show? Get something for yourself. Told you about Nutrafol. I told you about Trade Coffee. Do it. Right. Kris Carr, last week, everyone on the show, everybody, audience, all talking about you're amazing. 177 last week, crushing the competition. No one even stood a chance.
It was so nice of everyone to come through for me. I appreciated it.
Boy, did they. So we were talking yesterday, and Mike Kalinowski and I, who was on the show, and I said, Kris Carr's got a good shot to repeat this week, because right now you're only dealing with 64. Mike, you got to beat 64 today, which is doable. The problem that everybody faces this week is that tomorrow's show is the reuniting of Roxy Stryer and Seth Sabra on the same show. So that's going to be something to handle. And then
Steph deserves a win.
He does. And so we're going to see if we can get you, though, to a place where it's like, let's catch Kris Carr again. Right now at 5, but that's okay. We can get to let's see if we can at least get Kris to 100 today. That is the goal. Can we get Kris Carr to 100?
I'm doing the show from Vegas next week, you guys. So I'm just saying, we can do some fun stuff next week if we pull through.
So let's see if we can do that. All right. We were talking a lot about this new DC, a guy who very much associated with the last DC is one Zack Snyder. Well, Zack Snyder has some stuff going down, and there is the last photograph. He has set the cast for that. So let's talk about the last photograph. Coming in from Dark Horizons here. And Zack Snyder has set the last photograph cast. Who we got? Man of Steel, 300. Watchmen director Zack Snyder has announced his next feature, the long passion project, The Last Photograph, making Snyder's first film since the 2-part Rebel Moon saga for Netflix. Snyder has enlisted 2 stars from those films, Stuart Martin and Fra-Fee, for these projects. The story follows an ex-DEA operative who must return to the mountains of South America in an effort to find his missing niece and nephew following the brutal murders of their diplomat parents. Enlisting the help of a washed-up junkie war photographer, the only person to have seen the face of the killers, he sets out determined to find the children and the truth, but soon learns he must also face the ghost of his past. The journey takes them farther and farther away from civilization, bringing into question everything they believe while slowly eroding the distinction between real and surreal. Production gets underway this month and will shoot through November in Iceland, Colombia, and Los Angeles. Snyder will direct from a screenplay by Kurt Johnson, with Snyder having a story by credit. Zack Snyder, Deborah Snyder, Gianni Nunari, and Wesley Kohler will produce. Hans Zimmer, Stephen Dorr, and Omar Binyan are handling the score in the film, which Snyder dubs a meditation on life and death. Okay, Chris. So where'd you go? There you are. So we hear that Snyder's doing this. This is a different kind of project for him. What do you think?
I am really actually very interested in this because it does sound so personal, something he's been working on for 20 years, and that he does have some very horrible life experience to pull from.
Yeah.
And I'm always so impressed by people who can use that and explore it through their art, because it takes a really brave person, I think, to share those parts of themselves and explore that with an entire audience. It's hard to make art in general. We sit here and talk about what we dislike and like in movies and TV all the time. It's so hard to make movies and TV. I can tell you all the time what I would do instead, but if it came down to me actually executing something, I probably would still fall flat. Right. So I love the idea, though, of him just really putting a really personal viewpoint on something. The story itself sounds really interesting to me. I love a good political thriller. I love that kind of exploration. And for me, it's just let's kind of go back to some of the things that were really great in Man of Steel. Some of those nice quiet moments. Let's not get so hung up on, slow motion hail bailing like we did in Rebel Moon. But if we do just really some great character driven exploration here with the action that we know that Snyder can deliver, I think you've got something that has real potential.
I agree. I think what happens with him is that it's almost like Shyamalan. When Shyamalan was doing all his movies, everyone was expecting a twist, right? And so 300 and all those movies are so visually stimulating, and the way that they were so interesting, and the slow motion and other things, that I feel like he almost feels like he needs to do that in every movie. And he doesn't, because when he relies on certain emotional moments, he really can make them work, because that was an action, and he shoots action very well. I couldn't agree with you more when it came to Rebel Moon. I remember watching the scene in the beginning, like, oh, I'm locked in, and there, Sophia Butella's in the middle of this fight, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then she goes, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that right now? Just finish the fight. Let's see the fight. I don't need to see slow motion. And it just halted it in the middle. I'm like, no, you were so locked in. And he did that throughout the entire movie. And he's done it so many different times. Hoping this kind of movie doesn't allow him to do that. I hope that it's more conversational. I hope that there is some crazy action. I want to see him change it up a bit and see what else he can do besides just relying on the visual stuff. Because as you mentioned, I love Man of Steel. I love that movie. And I think that he really pulls a lot of great emotional moments from Henry Cavill and other things in there. I want to see that happen moving forward. And he did it a few times in Watchmen. And I think there's I think this is a project I'm really looking forward to for him for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be powerful and interesting and something that I genuinely hope that this is something that helps get people off the Snyderverse conversation. Let him create new things. Let him play in other sandboxes. Let him do other movies. He's moved on. Let's all move on as an audience and support what else he's trying to explore.
100%. What do you guys make of Zack Snyder's new project? Do you like the way it sounds? Are you going to be checking it out? Do you think that it's going to be something that is going to change up his wheelhouse a little bit? What say you? Put your thoughts in there in the comment section, whether you're watching live on the replay, and especially the Clips channel. If you haven't already subscribed to that Clips channel, what are you doing? Head on over there. Make sure you do that. Okay. Kris, you know what I didn't have on my bingo card?
What?
Lord and Miller doing an Archie movie.
Dude, I'm so weirdly excited about this.
Crazy. So check this story out. So Lord and Miller set a live action Archie movie. Who even knew about Archie? That is this new generation. Anybody knew about this Archie? I don't know. Spider-Verse franchise, Lego movie directors Phil Lord, Christopher Miller are set to produce a live action film based on the Archie comics. Who's going to play Veronica? That's what I want to know. Comic book writer Tom King is penning the screenplay for the film, which has been set up at Universal Pictures and will also be produced by Adita Sood, Emma Watts, and John Goldwater. Get those Smurfs out of there. Get out of there. Lord and Miller say in a statement, "We are longtime fans of Archie, Veronica, Betty, and the gang in all their iterations. When we heard Tom King's take on the classic material, we instantly thought this made sense as an event movie for all audiences, both lifelong fans and a whole new generation. We're so excited to bring these beloved characters to the big screen." Over 3 billion copies of Archie comics have been sold over the past 85 years. Yeah, but how many in the last 10? With multiple characters have been translated to the screen in works such as the CW's Riverdale, Netflix's Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the Josie and the Pussycats film, the Katie Keene series, and more. Project will come after Lord Miller's next film, Project Hail Mary, which opens in cinemas in March next year. Pair are also busy at work on Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is set for June 2027. The source is from the Insider, Jeff Schneider, and the Hollywood Reporter. Okay, so to me, this seems like, okay, well, and Tom King, correct me if I'm wrong, is also Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, correct?
I believe so. Let me double check that for you.
Double check that. I think so. But I keep hearing this guy's name more and more and more and more and more.
Yep, that's him.
Okay, so more people are loving this guy. And so now he's writing the screenplay and he's making that transition from doing those types of things. And he pitches Archie. To me, this seems like, oh, this can be our Barbie, is what it seems like from when I hear that type of pitch. So people are loving what he's doing. They're loving what Lord and Miller are doing as producers. So I don't know what the story is going to be, but I like the team. And to me, that's always the most important. If you're going to tell me, look at the studio, right? And the Kool-Aid movie and how they put all that stuff together. If you have a package with a team, no matter what the premise is or what the IP is, if you have the right team and you have the right people involved that are going to make it entertaining, I truly believe anything can work. Now, not anyone can make it work, but anything can work. And this might be one of those situations. How do you feel about it?
I completely agree with that. I love Lord and Miller. I think they have just such a fun style. I love how they write. I love how they think. I love how they execute things. And I think Archie is a really interesting thing for them to explore. I'm going to age myself here. When I was a kid, you could get the Archie Digest in the checkout at the grocery store. And I would always make my mom grab them for me. And I'd get Archie, Betty Veronica, and Cheryl Blossom. And it was one of my kind of first forays into comic books, was having those right there and picking them up. And then eventually I went off to a comic book store and went, oh, there's so many more comics. Right. I think this is fun. Good or bad, however you feel about, Riverdale, it was huge. It was a phenomena. And those first few seasons were really fun. They were dark and twisted and a really interesting kind of take on the comics. And then they got a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for me. when everyone got superpowers and got weird. Some other people loved that. But I think you have a lot of stuff you can do there and explore. It's always coming of age stories always do well, but there is just this kind of timelessness and earnestness to Archie that's lovely. But I could also be really biased here. One of the few VHS tapes my grandma had was Return to Riverdale with Christopher Rich. So like I watched that movie on loop and used to do like the Jughead rap version of Sugar Sugar, which is terrible. But I loved it with all my heart.
Do you know how old I was when I found out there was any correlation between Riverdale and Archie? I found that out about 10 minutes ago.
What?
I know nothing about Archie, and I know nothing about that show. So I had no idea that Riverdale had anything to do with Archie until just now.
Yeah, it was just kind of this dark look at it, which they've done comics of too, where they've done Archie zombie comics and Archie murder comics. And obviously the Chilling Tales of Sabrina was a spinoff from that because she lives in a town over from Riverdale. Yeah, there's a lot you can do here. And I feel like Archie is kind of every guy's hopeful scenario of, man, I wish that the girl next door and the hot popular girl and then this other kind of firecracker all wanted me.
Right.
I think that all of us wanted to like be one of those characters, and everyone had a favorite. So I think you can do a lot there.
And you said, and that's why definitely even hearing you talk about it more, in fact, they have done iterations of it. I think we're gonna get more in that Barbie vein. I really do. I think that was it. I think that was
the Josie and the Pussycats in there too with them. Come on, there's so much you can do.
I had no idea that was a part of it either. So like, I'm interested to see it. And Lord and Miller bringing this to life with Tom King. It sounds interesting. What do you guys think? Do you like the team that's attached to this? Could you give two shits whether or not they do Archie? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Clips channel. Let's get that Clips channel popping. We're almost at 13,000 on that channel. Let's get it to 20. Come on, everybody. Show a little class. All right. So every once in a while, Kris, we talk. It's funny. It's so weird how the landscape of pop culture has changed, right? I remember when we were doing, whether it was AMC or Collider or whatever it was, if a Star Wars story hit, that was the headline. That was the headline. You put that as the thumbnail. You talk about that. That's the first thing you discuss. You get everybody on board. It is our sixth story today. And I didn't even think I was going to want to cover it at all, but nonetheless, it's still a story. So I guess we'll talk about it. And that is apparently Star Wars, the next movie, will make franchise history in the most surprising way. Molly Brizzle over at Screen Rant says Star Wars is already making history with its next movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. But this one important franchise milestone is especially surprising and a very welcome one. Prior to the release of the Mandalorian TV show, characters who debuted in Star Wars animation rarely ever got a chance to appear in live action. Mandalorian Season 2, however, changed that with key characters like Ahsoka Tano and Bo-Katan finally getting to enter the live action realm. Anything seemed possible for animated Star Wars characters. Let me rewrite that. Hold on. Let me rewrite that. Finally getting to enter the live action realm. Anything seemed possible for Dave Filoni's animated Star Wars characters. Anybody that did anything else outside of Dave Filoni's will never see the light of day. Now, in The Mandalorian and Grogu, Star Wars is bringing out one of its main animated characters to the big screen for the first time. But what about Thrawn? It's in a book. The Mandalorian and Grogu is bringing Zeb to the big screen. Zeb is one of the main characters of Star Wars Rebels. He's headed to the big screen in The Mandalorian and Grogu. Zeb made his live action debut in The Mandalorian Season 3 with a brief appearance alongside Captain Tarsin Teva at the New Republic's Adelphi Outpost. Zeb isn't the first animated Star Wars character to hit the big screen. That honor goes to Saw Gerrera in Rogue One, a Star Wars story. He is, in fact, the main character from an animated TV show to be featured in a Star Wars film. Saw was only a part of a brief arc in Star Wars The Clone Wars, whereas Zeb was a core part of the Rebels crew. While the nature of Zeb's role in The Mandalorian and Grogu is still unknown, it's likely he'll be working quite closely with Din, which makes him a crucial addition to the movie's cast. Animation is more important to Star Wars now than ever before. 20 years after Lucasfilm animation first began, Star Wars animated stories are more important than ever before. Zeb will have a key role in the Star Wars next movie. Ahsoka Season 2 will continue to bring animated characters and their stories to the forefront. Dave Filoni's culmination movie will give all these characters a chance to shine on the big screen. All these big modern Star Wars stories have a foundation in animation. Without it, shows like Ahsoka would never have been made, from the Clone Wars to Rebels and Star Wars to Bad Batch. These animated TV shows are crucial to the entire franchise, as proven by The Mandalorian, Grogu. Okay, so Zeb being in this movie in general, good for the story. Good that he's finally getting a place to shine.
I'm coming from this from I love Steve Bloom so much, who voices Garzeb. And so that's mostly why I'm like, yes, he deserves to be in this. And I want this so badly. I definitely want to see how he fits in here. And I do like the idea of it, we do have all these kind of like isolated stories that have slowly started to coming together, right? Rebels and Ahsoka, we started having those come into live action. And I have been wondering about what happened with some of other friends there. So I think having him here is pretty cool, because we've just had that one quick glimpse of him in live action.
Right.
And so it would make sense to not just throw this character away as like a little Easter egg, but to have him actually show up and actually have some agency and get some stuff done, because he's a really fun and compelling character.
He is. And I hope that they actually, but here's what I hope doesn't happen, is that when you have, like, you looked at Ahsoka and what they did with Sabine, right? Sabine did not evolve at all from where she was as a character in Rebels as a teenager to whatever it was 10 years later, or however many years it was when she was a young adult. She acted the same exact way. And it's like, you can't, it's not that season anymore. You've got to move past. Now, granted, Zeb was an adult. I just hope he stays true to who he was in the series. I loved him in the series. He was great. Worked really well. It just couples to, it furthers my thought process though on, and that's why I said that rewriting the article. It's like, this is where people say, what do you mean about Filoni's Star Wars? It's Filoni's Star Wars now. It's not just Star Wars anymore. It's like, well, he transitioned. He was one of the first animated to do it because it's Filoni's character. Ahsoka got her own series. Zeb is going to come in here and be a big character. The freaking the bounty or the Jabba's son is going to be one of the people. It's Filoni's Star Wars now. And it's not just you ventured off for a second in Andor, and what happened? Everybody lost their minds and said, do more of this. And hopefully Kinberg sticks to what they're saying, and they're gonna do more of that. But this could be fun. Zeb is a fun character, and Favreau is the one who's going to be directing it. Yes. So maybe it works. I don't know. We'll see. But Filoni's got his mitts into this thing. Until he lets them loose a little bit, we're just getting animated Star Wars even in live action.
Well, and that's why I'm hoping that we have, the Ryan Gosling Star Wars really just take off, that with him and Matt Smith and everything. I hope that having new original characters really, really helps, and that we go, yeah, we do love this because we love the world of Star Wars, not just the characters we know. We want to meet more people in this galaxy far, far away. Because this is usually my problem. It's a whole ass galaxy. Why do I keep seeing the same people? It's not North Hollywood. I'm not going to run into everybody I've ever known or dated. I should have some new people show up here.
That's exactly right. And it's like, you got to explore past just the Filoniverse. You got to explore past and do other things. And I think that's what they're trying to do with like Starfighter inside of the movies. That's what they're trying to do with this new trilogy with Kinberg. And they're gonna, and we'll see if it works. But the TV shows are still staying in that aspect. But I'm
He's
not
a cool
sure.
character to bring in, though, because we're not dealing with, a Skywalker saga. We're not dealing with, any kind of Jedi. I think bringing him in is a cool, calculated choice. If we are going to pick from, the pantheon of Filoni characters, this is one that I went, okay, I could see how he could get into the fold here.
Right. I'm so curious that you mentioned, Filoni's movie that he's supposed to do, and we haven't really heard any mention of it. I think they're waiting because they're going to see how Mandalorian and Grogu does. They're going to wait to see how Ahsoka season 2 does, because Ahsoka season 1 didn't do great in the ratings. It did fine. And Mandalorian season 3 was easily the most panned out of the 3 seasons. So the question is, are people still going to care about this storyline? And if those two things don't deliver, I think you'd be a moron to say, yeah, Dave, go ahead and continue with that movie because nobody cares, but at least you should do it.
That's just throwing money away.
It's throwing money away. But the flip side of that is Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be the first Star Wars movie in the theater since 2019. People like to see Star Wars movies in the theaters. So, and if it delivers in the way that season 1 and season 2 did, then maybe you get the hype going again. You go, oh, okay, they got this thing back on track. And then Ahsoka season 2 is he actually brought in people who can write, and you have people, I know they said that he wrote the whole thing, but hopefully he was receptive to having people come in to write it. I know what he did that I loved is he's doing locations, and not just the volume, which is great. I don't know if Mandalorian and Grogu is going to do the same thing, but he is. So that's a positive, and maybe the writing's a little more detailed. Maybe we're not spending 25 to 30 minutes in an episode. Maybe we're spending 45 to 50, so we can actually get the detail of the character. And then, okay, give me a movie. But they got a lot to prove. Yeah. What do you guys think, man? You think this is the way to go? You like what he is doing with Zeb? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Kris Carr is the moment of truth. We're going to get to these questions. Now, you again, I think I said, what is it, 60, 64, I think I said? I got to double check that. I think it's 64. I'll double check. 64.
Okay, 64 or 65?
I think it was 64, but I'll confirm that. 64 to beat Mike Kalinowski, 65 to beat Mike Kalinowski. So you're currently at 14, but before we even get into that, let's talk about what's going on with Two Filthy Casuals. What's up?
Ooh, we have a new episode coming out on Friday where we are going to be talking about Death Stranding 2. So if you have not listened to our first Death Stranding episode where our brains just melted, please go check that out. It is fantastic. Two Filthy Casuals on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. We're on TikTok and on Instagram as well if you want to interact with us. And we have a Patreon. We just posted an episode about how good a year it's been for horror, with Amy explaining a whole bunch of horror stuff to me. And then we also have one coming out where she watched every Jaws film and also got some Jaws wine. So check that out if you want to see us just kind of unfiltered.
Speaking of Jaws, because I think that the first movie that I'm going to be doing Winston is Jaws. He's never seen Jaws.
Hell yeah.
I think that's the first one I'm going to do with Winston.
So good.
So for people wondering what we're doing as far as when Kris Carr we can start doing reactions, Kris Carr ASAP, and we probably will. I'm putting together like a massive list for all the people who are to be doing these virtual, so they can look and put their initials and say, okay, look, I haven't seen this, and then I can delegate which movies to what people. Chris's setup is great, ready to go. Steph's is almost there. Just got to do like a lighting thing to it. Winston's working on his lighting right now. Mike needs a nuclear bomb to hit his whole setup, and then we can get him set up. And then we're working on some other peeps. But right now, team's pretty damn strong. So the goal for the channel is one reaction video a day on a movie or TV show. Reviews, reviews, out of the theater reactions, live show. So we're gonna have it pretty set up. We're gonna have a full cast, and eventually, once we start getting used to the virtual reactions, I can maybe move off of some of them too. And it's like maybe you pair up Steph and Chris to do a reaction, or Chris and Winston to do reaction, Winston and Steph. Eventually, that'll happen, or maybe even having Sam in here and Sam and Chris do one together and all that. So that will be the evolution if you guys are liking them and enjoy it. Okay. First one, James Kirby starting it with number one. He said, I'm just getting it started again. Chris for the win. Now, James Kirby was one of your biggest supporters last week.
Instrumental in the win. So thank you, James.
Rushing, trying to get Kris Carr to get past Mike Kalinowski to put herself. Now, she's going to have a performance like last week because you got the World Girls coming in tomorrow.
Yeah.
I love slippers. Me too. Support for Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, slippers. I need to get a pair of new sneakers.
Me too. Mine are sad. I have these little dog ones and the ears came off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you need new ones. Darth Vader's burnt asshole. I truly believe that Supergirl will make more than Superman. I'll bet you a lot of money that doesn't happen. While Supes didn't break the bank, it gained audience trust. Plus, it's got the $1 billion Lucky Charm Momoa. How much would you like to bet on that? Because it will not. It will not.
Well, Momoa also he was part of Minecraft, where I think that was more the IP and kids loving that and having, chicken jockey and all those moments in there more so than him. I love him, but I think that's where the credit probably is a little bit more due.
Minecraft is an international appeal. Clearly, Superman is not, and Supergirl definitely is not. So I will bet a fair amount of, I will bet the 2 steaks that John Roca owes me already on a cheeseburger. That you can send me money for a cheeseburger. That's how confident I am. Gopal, I feel like it would have come up if there had been metahumans around for 3 centuries in the Batman's universe. So I agree, Pattinson should have crossed over. Yeah, that's a great point. Like, yeah, it's like it is based in realism. I do want to watch that again. Almost everybody on my crew, I think, minus you, Winston, and maybe Steph, have not seen that movie. Tina's never seen it. Sam's never seen it. My friend Chris has never seen it. I know. So that's one they definitely got to check out. There's no world where you'll watch the Conjuring movies, right?
Probably not.
Okay, that's fair.
How scary are they? Because remember, I am a baby.
Yeah, they're pretty creepy. I like them a lot, but they're creepy. Tyler B. Creature Commando's a one-off. I'd love a sequel. I'm okay with never seeing it ever again.
Yeah, I love what they did, and I feel like more would detract potentially from what they accomplished.
Yeah, and I also, and that's the thing is that, you know, when people, it's like when I said, and I stand by it, it's something going to lose people if you do animation next. You're just not going to expand your net wide enough, because if you're trying to, because they're already doing this with Peacemaker, they're continuing the lore that they just set up with Superman, hoping that you watch a live action show. You're already losing people off of that because you're asking people already to do homework to transition into the TV show to figure out what's happening next. Now, how much of it, if it really matters or not, we'll find out soon. But you're already losing people. You're going to lose more people if the next one is, well, it's animated. And so you're going to have the animated fans, and you have people come in who are in the DC hardcores that are going to want to see it, but casuals, not as much.
No, because there's still this whole thing of like that is it's not viewed as a different medium. It's viewed as an entirely different genre.
100%.
Oh, I don't want to watch that kids show. Which, if you watch Commandos, you go, oh, that's not for kids.
Right, but it's associated.
But that's still there.
It's got that stigma for sure. Tyler B, how does Chris have the best internet connection? I would argue second best.
Well, okay, I beefed up my internet because one time pre-pandemic, there was an internet outage in my neighborhood.
Oh, man.
And then my name was besmirched across the internet for years of having terrible internet when it's always been excellent.
There's no one who's going to take that title away from Mike Kalinowski. No one is going to take it away. The worst. No, the worst. I'm talking about the worst.
Okay, I thought.
No, it's no. His internet freezes at least 7 times a show on a good day. It's in the most.
He needs to get this is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I have these little Eero things, EERO internet backup.
Didn't you tell him that? Did you tell him about that?
No, because I only talked to him about cameras and lights. I can let him know about that.
Well, please let anything that you can possibly think of. Picture it like teaching your dad how to use Skype. It's like that. Yeah. Harv's K. Hey, Chris, if you're going to Vegas, check out the new Universal Horror Unleashed that just opened there. It's permanent Universal Horror Night setup. Oh, wait, that's probably not your thing, huh?
Okay, Harv's K. We talk about this actually on the Patreon that's going to come out this week, is how this is installed, and Amy's super excited about it. But, okay, the reason why I'm going to Vegas is my birthday is the 28th. My best friend's is the 25th, and she is a die-hard horror fan. She's the one who usually does the, oh, honey, you're not allowed to see this movie. It's going to scare you too much.
Oh, that's when you were telling me. Okay, she was the one who tried to stay away from weapons?
Yeah, where she's like, you're not going to handle this, buddy. But I do think if we can swing it, we might go do this, and I'm going to just, have some liquid courage in me and have her have a great time, and then I'll get to go sit by a pool and read a calm book.
You're going to go to Universal Horror Nights?
I actually think I am this year because there's Fallout, and I'm really excited about that.
Will you please, and we can discuss this off air, get someone to record you the entire time, and we can play it on the show. We'll do cut a whole thing. We'll do we did this for Makuga, who was a scaredy cat with this stuff, and we took it was me, Katie Sackhoff, Roxy, Darina, Wendy. Who else? I think that's Makuga, obviously. I think and people can tell me if there's anybody else. I can't remember. But and we went to Horror Nights for the whole thing and put this whole piece together. It's actually it's a really good video. Universal had hooked it up because we said we're going to scare the hell out of Makuga. Renetta W. Hi everyone, offering support for my girl. Kris, Kris, I'm blowing that mic. I'm lovely energy, great vibes, pure magic.
Oh, Renetta, thank you. That's really nice.
Very, very nice. Very nice indeed. Thank you. Renetta's sweet. Renetta's great. Been a very, very big supporter of the channel. On the side note, if you ever set sail, slide with MSC, hit the Bahamas with them, and it was nothing but vibes. Sounds pretty relaxing. Sounds pretty relaxing. Nice. 18 so far, Kris Carr. 18. Okay. And Renetta is helping. If Lord Miller's name is on it, sign me up. They write, they direct, they clown, and I'm here for all of it.
Hell yeah.
She follows it up. I'll forever wonder what kind of magic Lord Miller would have dropped on Solo. Missed opportunity. I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Kind of agree.
I think that would have been really fun.
However, they still had all Aaron Reich on board as Solo, right? And I think I've been making this point 1,000 times over, and I don't want him to. I actually love him as an actor. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I think he's great in Weapons. I think he was really good in Ironheart. I think he was amazing in Oppenheimer. I think he's a great actor, a great actor. He just was not cool enough to be Han Solo. He's not cool. He's just not. I mean, there's nothing against him. He's just not cool. And I don't know how, Lord Miller or not, you just can't make someone cool. Oh, before Solo was cool. When you're cool, you're cool. You always have it in you. And so I just feel like he just wasn't the right guy. It should have been a different movie. Should have been a different movie. The second half of that movie is pretty good, though. I do like the second half.
It's a fun movie. I think it gets a bad rap.
It's the first
fun.
part, though, when it's fine, but it's not. It should have been a separate smuggler movie.
Him getting his name is pretty eye-rolly.
The worst. Christian Joy, support for Kris. There you go.
Thank you, Christian.
You're welcome. Jason Ashcroft, who's been a member for 6 months. We had memberships now for 6 months, and Jason's been there since the beginning. Thanks for all you do, Christian. Thank you, Jason. Kris, it is great to have you on the show. Rewatch Superman, and I'm not gonna lie, that movie's not aging well for me. Oh well, hope the next one is better. It's funny. I felt when I saw it the second time, I definitely liked it better, and I agreed with what Sam said. I think it's good. I think it's flawed, but I think it's good. She called it choppy, which I agree. It's a choppy movie. Yeah. There's some things that really work. I think if you look at it like a Saturday morning cartoon, you can really enjoy it a little bit more.
I think that's why I like it so much, because it reminds me so much of the animated series. And I mean, you know, I'm always kind of just a stickler for just this movie makes me feel joy. This movie has optimism. This movie feels kind of like how I want to move through this world of just trying to be sunshine. Right. And on days when it's really gloomy, it's hard to do that. And I feel like that movie encapsulates that.
All right, that's
flawed, but I love it.
It is. It's got that moment of just peaceful. Ronetta, Christian, the delivery of The Mandalorian and Grogu. I laugh every time like it's the first time. My unexpected serotonin boost never gets old.
It is so good.
It
makes me so happy.
They need to do one of them. They need to do this summer.
I don't know why you haven't put out a cut of a trailer with you narrating over it.
I need your help. Because I tried, you know what? I gave up too fast because everyone tells me I should do it, voiceover stuff and all that stuff too. I put together one reel and I got something back from a casting director. I was like, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. And then I stopped.
It takes so long. I tell everyone too, I'm up to, I think I've done 320 auditions this year for voiceover. Wow. More auditions than days. And I've booked 12 projects. It's a weird numbers game, and so much of it is just so nitpicky. Where just somebody other person could say, "Oh, they emphasize this word differently than you," and that's why we picked them. It's so bizarre.
I'm not auditioning. All right, let's see. Jason Ashcroft, excited and hyped for Batman Part 2 and Doomsday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited for Doomsday. I want to see what happens. Jason also says, "What's your guys' thoughts on Beau DeMayo? I support anyone speaking out, but in my opinion, he's losing credibility now. Feels like he's ruining any case that he had. We talked about it the other day. The problem is that both him and I say this as someone who's friends with Rob Liefeld. They just come off a little disgruntled right now, where it's, oh, you know what? Now that I'm not working for them, everything they do, I'm going after them. There's nothing positive I'm going to say, no matter what. See, that it's almost like the old wrestling thing. The greatest wrestlers, like the heels, never just made fun of all their opponents and called their and said how bad their opponents were and terrible. Because if you did, then you look weak when you beat them. If you say something along the lines of like, well, I know how great of a champion you are, but this time around, your greatness stops with me. You're saying something nice about the person, and yet you're still saying, but I'm still coming after you. So you might have had the greatest match of your life just now, but the next time when you meet me, you're going to have the worst. You just said something nice, and it's the same thing here. Everything can't be terrible. Everything can't be terrible because I can't take you serious. It's the same thing. Like there's some channels that do the same thing. It's like, let me guess, you're going to hate it. Oh, here's a new reaction you're doing. You're going to hate it because you have to hate it. And it'd be more credible to me if the one time person, whoa, I tell you, I was expecting to hate that. That was really good. I still don't want to see it, but that looked good. And the same thing goes for Bo DeMeo. I know everybody's going to tweet every single time. He's going to tweet the same thing. Oh, let me tell you why this sucks. And this is what they've done wrong now. It's his mission.
Well, if we look at just the argument of the most recent Bo DeMeo thing too, then it would have been, well, Kevin Feige would have hated Deadpool and Wolverine for, taking shots at Marvel and doing these things and calling out what's not good in Marvel anymore.
Right.
X-Men doesn't do that in any like egregious way. It's just, oh, this is really incredible. This is such good stuff. This is kind of the content I wish I was getting in live action.
Right.
And just because of the he said of everything here too, with the sexual misconduct allegations, and then other people saying, no, that was an executive who did stuff. And then, no, it's because of a gay pride post. No, it's because of an OnlyFans account. No, it's because of this. It just got so messy. And we stopped talking about the actual show.
Right.
And instead started talking about all the drama around it. So it is just hard to kind of get a gauge on it.
And now, he's leaking information and things. So I'm not saying a lot of the stuff that he's doing. It's not true. It's just hard because I'm like,
no.
I know every tweet now is going to be bad. Michael, Swamp Donkey Soup Goop, get your poop in a group. I couldn't agree more. The fact that they're not talking about that more in the news is incredible. Jason,
these are all horrible catchphrases of mine.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Swamp Donkey is what I call myself when I get really Southern and I'm drunk and Texan. Soup Goop is what I called Homelanders Come. And then get your poop in a group is my polite Southern way of saying get your shit together that I did not realize no one else says. But every time I bring it up, the universe freaks out.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Jason Ashcroft, also pretty sure this isn't legit source news, but did you see the reporting that James Gunn said 9/11 hasn't happened in his universe? Absolutely wild if he said that. Well, here's two things. One, I don't know if he said it. Two, if he said it, there are certain events that didn't happen in other universes and multiverses. Why?
There's
it's a New Yorker. Like, why?
Yeah. There's no New York in DC.
Right. So why? Yeah. Like if so, I wouldn't. Yeah. That one to me is people doing this. Look what you just said. It's like if there is no New York, it's Gotham.
Yeah. If that's even a
or
real
Metropolis.
thing.
Yeah. Right. So that one's not. I'm not going to do that for this one. Jason, it was all over my Twitter feed. So curious if you saw that. Regardless, you need to stop and play more scenes. I mean, it depends on the context of how he said it. I guess I got to look at the quote before maybe but I got to look. If it's just a matter of like, oh, some of the things that happen there, like in our universe, how is that? If someone said like, how is 9/11 going to play into how Superman and Batman see the world? And he's like, well, it didn't happen in our universe because it's Gotham. Then I wouldn't get it. If he just randomly said it out of nowhere, I don't know. I got to see the context of it.
Exactly, because it obviously a huge incident that incited so much change in how we view things and how our politics and government and everything changed. If you don't have that event in your universe, your fictional universe with fictional cities, it's not going to have an impact because it didn't happen there.
Right. I have to look at. I want to look at the context of it. Philly G support. Thank you, Philly G. More support from Philly G, taking us to 22 here. 22. My cat, Chris. You're offering an animated movie. You're a side character. I know will hit or a new animated show where you're the lead. Which would you take?
Ooh, honestly, probably side character because I really want to be Jeff the Shark. I really, really want to be Jeff the Shark really badly and do like performance capture for it because I'm a lunatic. I do monster voices every now and then in video games and animated series, and I do a lot of like tiny little dinosaur-y kind of creature things that are modeled after my dog Trico, and I think I'd do a really good Jeff the Shark, and I'd have more fun with that.
Okay, there you go. Armada. Wendy Lee and Chris horror movie reaction. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I can't. I feel so bad. I feel so bad.
I'll try to find something that I can dip my toe in.
Yeah. Okay. Jason, I guess my point in the 9/11 thing wasn't meant to besmirch James Gunn. I was just curious if you guys saw that. Thanks again. No, it's fair. Again, Jason, I haven't seen it in context, so I don't really know how to respond on it. It was the first time hearing about it. So yeah, I'll look at it and maybe we'll address it on the show tomorrow if I think that it actually retract my statement. I think that it shouldn't have been said, but we'll see. Okay, currently we've reached our end here with 23.
They're saving it for the World Girl reunion. I get it.
It happens.
I get it.
But I also don't count out in the fact I think there have been many times where we're right about to end the show and people start throwing stuff in, like Jason again. 2015 was so much fun. Force Awakens dominated. DC had a lot of hype. Marvel was cooking. It was a very fun time in general, and it was before that. That split in fandom in general, where politics became pop culture in the same way that Red Sox versus Yankees. It happened in around 2016, 2017, really. 2017 is when that happened. So 2015 was the Garden of Eden, where everybody thought it was, and then that apple was bitten, and that was the end of it. Jason Ashcroft, who's agreed. Thank you, Jason. Corn Emperor, support for Chris.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris, did you watch Sam's reaction to Lord of the Rings?
I need to still.
Yeah, so we're shooting today Towers because we took a break on Tuesday to do Superman. We're doing Towers today. So that should come out on Friday. Because I think that the way right now, and then they're working on the that digital circus thing for Tina and I. And that's it. So we'll see. All right, Armada. Do you think you'll show Sam the Suicide Squad before Peacemaker, despite the first season not being canon? Also, Fallout TV reaction with crew person. So the first part of that, the Suicide Squad, probably I will show it to her. And Peacemaker season 1 probably will show because there are events of Peacemaker season 1 that are canon, right? So probably will show both season 1 and the Suicide Squad, and then season 2 of Peacemaker. Those will probably be. I think that we keep getting thrown for loops every time. I think that we're getting into one thing with Sam. We went from Lord of the Rings and no, Superman's out. All right, let's do Superman. So now it's Lord of the Rings. We're going to finish up Lord of the Rings. It was going to be Hobbit next, but I think we're going to push Hobbit for a second. And I think we're going to, I think we're going to do the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker season 1, Peacemaker season 2 will be the next things that she watches. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Ella, and sorry, the second part of that, do a Fallout TV reaction with crew person. I've got to watch season 1, I think, because I haven't watched season 1. I don't think I'm going to do the reactions for season 1.
It's fun. I think you'll like it.
I watched the first 2 and I liked it. I just never got to finish. So I've been telling people my list right now is I'm like, okay, there's got to be ones that I jump into next. Right now I'm on Tulsa King season 2. I have to see what I jump into next. I don't know yet. It's kind of like a spur of the moment thing. Once I finish Tulsa King season 2, then maybe Fallout's on my list. So we'll see.
I auditioned to be a hooker on Tulsa King.
Did you? Oh,
yeah.
On Tulsa King?
This was pre-weight gain Chris, where she was looking a little foxier, and I was really bummed I didn't get it because I was like, oh, I could have acted with Sly.
Oh, wow.
Come on.
Season 1?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I really dig that show. Joshua Gonzalez, you guys excited for Guillermo's Frankenstein? I'm excited for anything he does.
I was going to say, he can do anything, and I'm pretty jazzed about it. He's amazing.
Yeah. Keith, Santa Maria. I, for one, would love Chris as Jeff. Which
Thank
Jeff?
you.
Who's Jeff?
Jeff the Shark. So he's just a little shark in the Marvel universe that hangs out with Kate Bishop a lot. He's Jeff the Land Shark. And he's just basically a puppy.
Perfect. Rick Alfonso, support for Kris Carr, the best voice of your show these days, Kristian. That's very nice. Kris, great to see you again over here. I love having Kris here. It's like, so our shows, for the way it's going to work for now, it looks like Monday is always Roka. Tuesday, it looks like it's going to be Mike for sure on Tuesdays, with Roxy jumping in and out on Tuesdays because the morning is we're trying to figure out. But Roxy, like, for example, she couldn't do Tuesday this week, so Thursday. So Roxy's going to kind of be like the utility player. Wednesday's Kris Carr. Thursday is Steph. Friday are Capes and Cows. The Goofball show was supposed to record it today. Brett's on a commercial for 2 days, so we're going to I think he's crew wise. So we're doing a Goofball episode. We're going to shoot it on Friday, so we're probably going to drop it on Saturday. So it'll be, but we will get one up this week. Armada, Chris, you think the Lord of the Rings sequel series will ever happen?
Oh, in the movies?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's the potential for it. I feel like there's some studio executive who is trying to figure out how to make this work, and trying to see if, Peter Jackson will jump on board or other people be on board. I don't know if you guys have been watching that Billy and Dom Eat the World show.
I heard someone recommended it yesterday. Yeah,
it's so charming. It's really fun. But they talk all the time about, like, we're really working on trying to get all the guys back together. We all really want to hang out at the same time because we text. The hobbits are the ones who really kind of stay the most close knit.
Yeah. But
they're all trying to do more stuff together. So I feel like there's definitely a potential for them wanting to do more, because they already did, some of them did voices in War of Rohirrim. But I do think that there's so much more of Middle Earth that you can explore. I think, though, you then run the risk of how some people felt about season 1 of Rings of Power. Like, this deviates from the text. What do we do?
Right.
So I think you really have to just nail what that story is going to be, and how the hardcore Tolkienites are going to be into it, and how you can get casual moviegoers into it too.
Well, look, they announced that Elijah Wood's coming back for the Gollum movie. I think that's your answer right there. If the Gollum movie becomes a massive hit, then the answer is yes, a sequel series will happen. If it's subpar or doesn't do well, then no, it'll never happen. But if it does well, you better bet your ass they're going to back up a big truck into Peter Jackson's backyard and say, please come direct the next one, and let's do a sequel trilogy.
And please do it like you did Lord of the Rings. Don't do it like you did Hobbit.
Exactly. That's what we're going to hope what Gollum looks like. Busy Bee catching into the stream, but support for Kris. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Busy Bee.
34. Jason Ashcroft. I get The Force Awakens is lessened for some folks with what happened. With that said, the movie gets unnecessary hate now. A lot of Monday morning quarterbacking with that movie. It's not perfect. Yeah, I don't necessarily besmirch the movie itself. I still think the movie is pretty good. The problem, it's like you said, Jason. For me, I know what comes next, so I don't care. It's blue balls. It really is. It's like, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I gotta watch episode 8 next, and then episode 9's after that. No, I'm good. It's like, wait, Finn. Oh, Finn's got such a great character. Oh, no, it's gone in the next movie. Just did the same thing with him. Okay, no, I'm good. It's just it's a bummer to watch it. It's a bummer.
I'm a Last Jedi apologist. I enjoy that movie. So those first 2, I'm always like, hell yeah. And then the third one, I do watch it. So I get the conclusion. But I do think it's because of the complete trilogy. That's why we kind of all go, at all of them.
Let me intelligently debate you on The Last Jedi.
Okay.
I think it smells like farts.
Whereas I am like, this movie's kind of sexy. I like it. I like these fights.
Busy Bee. Support for the pups. Hell yeah.
Thank you so much.
Jason Ashcroft. These people down the hallway are driving me nuts, Kris. They for some reason, on these offices, there's 3 offices that connect to the air conditioning. And I have these lights in here. I get it. It's not as cold. It's not as hot today. But they turn the air conditioner down, and it's killing me. Jason Ashcroft. But at the time, fans loved it. Critics loved it. Box office was massive. Now I see people putting episodes 1 and 2 over it. Give me a break. Yeah, I wouldn't put those. I wouldn't put that over episode 7. No, episode 8. Yes. So, yeah. All right. Jason Ashcroft says, I also confirm that the 9/11 thing now was a bunch of people trolling. My bad. Didn't mean to spread fake news. In other news, Kathleen Kennedy is going to play a Jedi Knight in Starfighter. There. Christian DeHoy, what did you guys think of Wednesday season 2? I always love Buscemi, but I couldn't stick with it. I watched all 4. I thought they're fine so far. Not the first season's much better.
It's so much better. There's not an iconic moment, and we're only 4 episodes in, right? We've got the tail end, but we don't have that iconic dance moment. And we talked about this a little bit last time. It just feels like it's becoming more of that high school procedural. And I want it to be, I like that it's darker, but I want it to be weirder. And I want her to be weirder.
Right.
And I want her to enjoy that she's weird and macabre and likes killing people and likes torture. Right. I want her to be Wednesday Addams.
I think she's fine in the first 4. I actually like her in the first 4. I'm going to ask somebody next time I'm watching with my family to smash me over the head with a plate the next time that Pugsley and the B-boy show up. Their story is atrocious. Atrocious.
And it's just so we can have that one tie-in. Write better. Write something better.
Simon Section. Put on the heat. Put on the heat. That's from talked about the fact that some people remember some of this stuff is incredible. So when I went to the Hamptons with some friends, my friend Murph was like, yeah, the people they're in the basement. I had to put them in the basement, and they're screaming, "Put on the heat! Put on the heat!" I was like, "You don't do the chores. You don't do the chores." Right? They're screaming, "Put on the heat! Put on the heat!" It's like it's not. You haven't earned it yet. It's the best. Trey Porter just finished watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the first time this morning. Started watching them on Sunday. Return of the King's my favorite. Was losing my mind. In own house. Well, look, Trey, you got to watch his reactions, and perfect time for you to do it. Perfect.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you enjoyed them. Hell yeah.
This is the greatest question we've gotten on this show. Spoontastic. Do you guys think Pearl Harbor in the DCU? Great call.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you. All right, next one, and this is Joshua Gonzalez. Episode 3, Alien Earth is great. You sticking with it? So here's what I'm going to do. The show, sticking with the show. Yes, 100% sticking with the show. As far as reactions go, I'm going to do episode 3. And then if I did episode 1 and 2 and 4,000 people watch it. So it's not enough. It's not worth the again, editing wise alone. People understand. I think more people get it now. And I think Greg Alba really, he explained this pretty well in his stream. The thing is, you got to look at, and when I tell people when I'm talking to them about rates on this, you're paying a host X amount to be on it. Now for Alien Earth, it was just me, but you're paying a host and then you're paying the editor. So the video itself has to make that. Look at it, making a movie. It has to break even in order to cover those costs. Then anything after that, great. Then that helps out the rest of the channel and everything else too. So Alien Earth was just me and with the editor, 4,000 views I'm losing money on the video. So I have to try it one more time and see. And if it works, then we keep doing it. But I will be finishing that series regardless. Maybe I'll try to just watch it and then review it if people don't watch it. Seb Lacey, sorry. Who uses better music in films, Gunn or Tarantino? Ooh, that's a great question. It's a great question.
I'm going to lean towards Gunn because those are the soundtracks that I've gotten on vinyl. Whereas Tarantino, I enjoy it in the moment, but I don't usually go by the soundtrack.
Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction.
I mean, yeah, they're really good, but I'm all bubbly joy vibes. I know. I want to listen to some happy music. I'm so basic.
I'm gonna lean towards Tarantino because Kill Bill and everything too. The stuff that he doesn't Kill Bill, but James Gunn's great at music choices.
Yeah.
Joshua Gonzalez, oh, you did that one. Okay. Armada. I want more Game of Thrones now. Well, didn't the new series get pushed back?
House of the Dragon or
there was a new series that's supposed to come out at the end of this year. I think it got pushed.
Oh.
I think it got pushed. I'm not sure. They're keeping you alive, Chris. You have 44. You're still not too. You're only 20 away from beating Mike. So
we need to do 25 more so we can really set up the gals and give them a good place to stay at, so Capes and Cows don't take them. All right.
Yeah, and it's just Coy this week. So Trey Porter, your reaction of Fellowship of the Ring with Sam is what gave me the kick in the ass to watch him. That's great. Good. Oh, nice. Love hearing that. Yeah, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Is that they're filming it now, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's or I don't know. Anyway, okay. So as of right now, 44. I'm gonna let you sign off real quick, and then maybe they'll throw in more. If not, when we'll see what the World Girls can do. Kris, one more time, where can they find you?
You can find me at Two Filthy Casuals Pod if you want to check out my podcast that I do with Amy Newman, where we talk about fandoms, where you can ask questions and dip your toe in without any judgment. Once again, what we have coming out this Friday is going to be Death Stranding 2. Check out our Death Stranding 1 episode. It is wild and goes off the rails, and it's a real fun time. We're also on Patreon if you want to support us over there. If you want to just keep up with me, I'm at It's Kris Carr over on Instagram. And if you want to learn about voiceover, hit me up over at speakfriendstudios.com. We are going to have new classes in September. I got to put those up on our website for Intro to VO. But if you're looking for just one-on-one classes, you need audition coaching, anything like that, come hang out with me and I'll teach you about VO because it's my favorite thing in the freaking world.
Please do that. And thank you guys for joining us here. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Tomorrow, we're back with the World Girl reunion. Make sure you check us out for that. We also have Corey Jandro coming in on Friday. I got the Lord of the Rings reaction, the one with Fellowship. That's up on the channel right now. Superman's up on the channel right now. We have the Digital Circus, Amazing Digital Circus reactions coming soon. And we have Towers coming up on Friday. So we have one more here before we go, and that's Go Pal. Maybe is this one of those Hail Mary performances by Kris Carr? We're going to find out. They were doing a Dunk and Egg series to bridge the gap in House of the Dragon, but now it's coming in later, so they still miss a year. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I want to. I'm very curious to see how they're going to make that work, and where's it going to land as far as release goes? With you've got House of the Dragon, the next season 3, and then whenever in this new series, are they going to space it out? I'm not sure. He also said I never read the Dunk and Egg books. Yeah, did you like season 2 of House of the Dragon?
I didn't finish it. I fell off because I wasn't finding it as interesting.
I loved it.
I need to get back on board. But it's also, I usually do big group parties for House of the Dragon. And we all, I don't know, maybe if it was just our energy or whatever. But after about like 3 episodes, it was just, we're not having as much fun with this. Let's figure out a different show to watch together. It might also be because we ran out of our Game of Thrones scotch. Because we had all the houses. So that also does increase your joy and amusement.
All right. Well, sorry, Kris. Didn't mean to cut you off. Guys, make sure that you check out Kris Carr's podcast. Make sure you check her out on Twitter. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate you so much. You guys rule. We'll see you soon. I'm probably gonna see Kris sooner than later because we're, like I said, we're gonna start getting those virtual reactions up pretty damn soon. I'm excited for it. So Clips channel, all that and more. And then look at this. Corn Emperor, the Dunk and Egg novels are badass. Read them. Okay. We'll have to. You guys rule. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for everything. Peace out, mothers. Bye.